She's a straight shooter, if you know what I mean. Dishing out the truth about the royal scene, with a fist of fire and a voice so keen. Hitting hard with those altar bridge vibes, no sugarcoating, no false alibis. Tearing down the lies she despises. Yorkshire lass with fire in her eyes. Steph don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines. In a sea of fake, she's a beacon bright, unraveling the drama without a fright. Armored with honesty, ready to fight. Injustice quivers at her sight. Unbreakable will won't be confined. Mind of steel and heart redefined. Rhetoric sharp, leaving dust behind. In Steph's world, truth is intertwined. Steph don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines. Will won't be confined. Mind of steel and heart redefined. Rhetoric sharp, leaving dust behind. In Steph's world, truth is intertwined. Steph don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines.
Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Daily Nerd Live Friday edition. How y'all doing? Thank you so much to everyone that's tuning in. Whether you're watching on YouTube or on X, welcome to every single one of you. If you're watching on YouTube and you want more misadventures of the gruesome twosome, then make sure you are subscribed to join our Alter Nerd tribe here. And if you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd. Now, let me give you a little bit of a rundown as to what is going to be coming up in today's Daily Nerd Live for Friday, the 25th of July 2025. First and foremost, oh yeah, more pain for Hazza and Megsy. Meghan Markle's new Netflix blow as she has lost the Meet Me at the Lake film project rights, whatever you want to call it. What the deuce is going on? We're going to get into that shortly. And then second up, Hollywood is reacting. Yes, is Meghan Markle in hiding? Because Hollywood has reacted to her Netflix acts and yeah, she ain't gonna like that one. That is for damn certain. So that's coming up for the second topic for today's live stream. We're then going to get into the third topic for today's live stream, which is bye-bye Montecito. Oh, yeah. Is Meghan Markle going to flee Montecito since Netflix has dropped her and moved to Florida instead? You guys might be thinking, that sounds absolutely ridiculous. Stay tuned. And then the fourth topic for today's Daily Nerd Live, well, guys, that is simply up to you guys. The bonus story, the Hazza and Megsy bonus story. How do you guys get to unlock that? Well, of course, only if you can. The super chat goal is now live. We need 10 super chats in the next hour for you guys to unlock the bonus Hazza and Megsy story for today's live stream. And guys, yeah, do you want to know Hazza's reaction to Netflix axing them? What do you think it might be? Hazard a guess. Well, that is the bonus Hazza and Megsy story for today's live stream. And again, for those that are able to unlock it, of course. If not, no drama. It's all Gucci. But for those that can, do consider contributing to today's super chat goal. With that being said, a little bit of housekeeping before we jump into the first story for today's live stream. For those that are watching on the replay, the usual. Fast forward 5-10 minutes and I will have started the first main topic for today's live stream. First and foremost, though, I just want to say a big, massive thank you. Firstly, for all your support on here on Stef The Alter Nerd. But secondly, oh my goodness, on my second channel, Political Nerds, you guys are going nuts on there in a good way, may I add. Thank you so much to everyone that's supporting me on my second channel. For those that don't know, I'm thinking, hang on a minute, Steph, you spout about royal news and Hazza and Megsy. Why have you got a political channel for? Well, I do have a degree in international relations and security studies. Politics is pretty much my academic wheelhouse, and I thought, you know what? I might as well start using my degree to some use, and here we are. This is the result, and we're having so much fun on there. So thank you so much to everyone that's supporting me on my second channel, and a big major thank you to everyone that supported me on my most recent video right here. I'm absolutely astounded by all your kindness with this one. I mean, my mind is just freaking blown as to how many of you have tuned into this video and subscribed to my channel just from this one alone. As a result, I shiz you not, we're speeding towards 40,000 political nerds in that community. Looking at the count right now, we're at 39,405 political nerds in the community. So thank you so much for your immense support over on my second channel. For those that haven't made the jump, do it today. If you're watching on YouTube, the link to my channel is pinned right at the top of the live chat. It's also in the description bar below. For those watching on X, just go on YouTube and search for Political Nerds, and I'm pretty much gonna be there. But yeah, and let's pay it forward really at the end of the day, because my good friend Michelle over on Royal Daily Tea is going live this Sunday at 6 o'clock UK time in the evenings. That's 1 o'clock Eastern, to do a special live interview with the one and the only HG Tudor. She's putting him in the hot seat, and it sounds so exciting to me. You know, putting someone in the hot seat, it's like, ooh, here we go. Yeah, it sounds really exciting to me, as you can tell. So make sure you join her this Sunday live, 6 o'clock UK time, 1 o'clock Eastern. And yeah, I'll be watching. I'm going to be like, let's see what she can get out of HG. And that rhymes as well, so I'm pretty proud of that one. So yeah, let's pay it forward and make sure you guys tune in to Michelle at Royal Daily Tea this Sunday, 6 o'clock, for her putting HG Tudor in the hot seat. That sounds really exciting, I have to admit. Anywho, let's say hi to a few of you guys before we jump into the first topic for today's live stream. Let's have a gander here. Tune the news. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Saying best song ever. I know, right? Hey, all props goes to Grumpy Sapper on that one. He literally like turned around and was like, yeah, it is a theme tune for your channel, because I was having a little bit of issues with my original theme tune. It was like copyright free until somehow it wasn't. Grumpy Sapper came to the rescue, so major thanks to him for that one. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Oh, Nikki Maz. Hiya, Steph. I'm watching from Nebraska, USA. Let me know, guys. I never do this really often enough, but where are you guys watching from? Let me know in the live chat, either on YouTube, or let me know if you're watching on X. Where are you watching from today? Where are you in the world? For those that don't know, I'm in England. Yorkshire through and through, guys. Sonia Patterson says, hello from Vancouver, Canada. Oh, well, hey up, Sonia. Appreciate your face. Thank you so much. Wow. D. Williams. She's the bed. Extremely, extremely, extremely generous. Thank you so much to D. Williams. Wow, a $50 sugar bucks there. Whoa. D. Williams has just ruined a shiz ton of Sugar's days by sending a shiz ton of sugar bucks my ways. Wow, you've pissed off a lot of sugars there. Well done. They hate it, guys. They're always lurking. So to the sugars that are lurking, hi, morons. They hate it, right? When you guys are able to support us like this. So, yeah, you've pissed off a lot of sugars there. Well done, D. Williams. Well done. Hearts in the chat right now for D. Williams because this is highly, highly generous and kind of us. So thank you so much, D, for that. There we go. Head mod, Project Metal Music. Whoa. Thank you so much. You are most generous. I echo every single word there, D. Williams. Thank you so much. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Jane. Oh, Jane, thank you so much for the £2 sugar bucks saying, supporting you since 2021. Here's a little thank you. Oh, well, thank you. One of my OG alter nerds out there. Appreciate your face. Thank you so much. And Trish O'Donnell, thank you so much for the €2 sugar bucks. Appreciate your face. And Gunner Girl, thank you so much for the $2 sugar bucks and the smiling ginger doggy. Oh, so cute. Look at him smiling. Now, just to make you guys aware, still, for some reason, YouTube does not count super chat stickers towards the super chat goal. Your guess is as good as mine as to why that's the case, okay, guys? So, your super chat stickers do not contribute towards the super chat goal. It has to be like a super chat with like the standard kind of message situation. That's what YouTube will accept towards the goal. Again, your guess is as good as mine as to why it's set up that way, but there you go, just to make you aware of all of that. Here we go. Andrea Black, Phoenix, Arizona, USA. Frida Ballet, greetings from Costa Rica. Hey, UK represent. Karen Evans is in St. Helens. Hey up, how's it going? Head mod, Canada. Hey up. Cincinnati. Wow. All right. Kelly Day, Cincinnati. Yeah. Hey. Yusha. I live in Cheshire. I was at Leeds Armories yesterday. Oh, wow. My goodness. The last time I was at Leeds Armories was what? 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I was last at Leeds Armories. Wow. I've got to go back. It'll have changed a buttload since then. A buttload, I'm sure of it. Patty Neoff, thank you so much for the $2 sugar bucks saying, hi from Cincinnati, Ohio, USA. Hey. Gucci. All right then. Well, guys, let's jump into the first topic for today's live stream. Anyone that sends super chat sticker, leader only charts, or kicks off today's gifting wars or whatnot, I'll get to you guys as and when I can. But yeah, Meghan Markle, she's suffering a brand new Netflix blow because, yeah, she has lost the Meet Me at the Lake film rights. Ta-da! Here we go. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle buy rights to bestseller Meet Me at the Lake for Netflix. So do you guys remember this? It was initially announced 2 years ago that husband Megxie had bought the rights to Meet Me at the Lake. But actually, guys, that was all spin. It was, as far as I'm concerned, lies. Because it was soon revealed that it was actually Netflix that bought the rights to Meet Me at the Lake. Netflix executives, as Daily Mail reported here, paid £3 million for the film rights to the romantic novel that Megxie and Hazza, at that point, were intending, who knows, to produce for Netflix as part of their deal. And so, ever since it was announced that Netflix is dropping Hazza and Megxie, I have asked in my videos this week, what will actually happen with their Meet at the Lake project? Well, looks like we've got our answer, guys, because, ta-da! Courtesy of Page 6, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's Meet Me at the Lake movie still has no director or cast and may never happen. Oh my goodness. This is an absolute shiz show for Hazza and Megxie. And so here, Page Six is reporting that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's remaining Netflix projects, i.e. Meet Me at the Lake, is now on ice as their deal is coming to an end. And so Page Six have been told that Archwell Productions has yet to hire a director or come anywhere close to picking a cast. And this is what I said over the last week or so. They should have been further along now in terms of the production of Meet Me at the Lake. Because we would have heard announcements of, oh my goodness, they've now hired this actor to play this person and this actress to play this person. We would be hearing behind the scenes little tidbits of how awesome Hazza and Megxie is, or how absolutely damn awful Hazza and Megxie is. Either way, right? We would have heard all of that. It would have been leaked or announced in the media, whatever which way it happened, right? But we've heard crickets ever since it was announced that Netflix bought the rights to Meet Me at the Lake. That's all we've heard. We hadn't heard anything else, which led me to believe that Meet Me at the Lake is literally dead in the water. And so the article continues on Page Six that they're speaking to this source, and this source is turning around and saying, by this point, you would have thought they would have got a director on board and a cast. So what is the delay? Asked a Hollywood source. And when you make something for Netflix, it takes a long time for it to actually hit the streamer. There's so much to do in post-production to make sure it's ready for every country. If the deal is up this year, then when is this film going to be made? Well, indeed, right? Think about it. When is this film ever going to be made? If there's been no announcement in the first place by now of a director or even who's freaking going to be in the cast in the first place. Do you know what I mean? And so here, the source continues. What's the betting that neither of these projects will see the light of day? And they say neither of these projects because, yes, you've got the Meet Me at the Lake project, but you also have Hazza's project that was, kind of, how do I put it, mentioned in the press. I know I reported on it over the last year or so. He apparently was trying to make some documentary in Africa or something along those lines. Well, yeah, what's happening there? Crickets. And nothing's definitely going to be happening at this point because ultimately Netflix has dropped their backside. And you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute. How has the author of Meet Me at the Lake, Carly Fortune, reacted to this news? Because, again, it was all announced to much fanfare. Carly Fortune presumably would have been excited for Meet Me at the Lake to be developed. Well, nothing's happened. It just seems to be absolutely dead in the water now at this point. So how has she reacted to this news? Well, interestingly enough, she did this. Yeah. So here, she released this Instagram. This is the latest Instagram that she's posted. And here, it's with Amazon MGM Studios and 4 others. We have 3 updates to share. Update 1, Every Year After is coming to Prime Video. Update 2, meet our Percy, Sam, Charlie, Delilah, Chantal and Geordie. Update 3, we are now in production. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. This is something that we would have expected announcement-wise for the Meet Me at the Lake project by now, because it was announced 2 years ago that Netflix had bought the rights and that Hazza and Megxie were producing it. By now, we should have had this kind of announcement. Meet the cast. We're now in production. Here's the director. That kind of thing. But we've got none of that. How is it that Meet Me at the Lake is complete crickets, but Carly Fortune's other novel, Every Year After, which is actually based on a book Every Summer After, How come we've already got announcements there? Do you see where I'm coming from? Kylie Fortune, ultimately, in the wake of the Meet Me at the Lake production being dead in the water at this point, well, based on that Instagram post, she's moving on. She is moving on. She's dropping Azza and Megzy, dropping the Meet Me at the Lake production that they were intending to do, or whatever the frick you want to call it. And she's promoting a new series every year after, which again is based on a book Every Summer After, that is being produced and released on Amazon Prime. She's moved on from the gruesome twosome, essentially, and their grifting ways, focusing on a new book adaptation on a rival streaming platform. Ultimately, it's an embarrassment for Meghan and Hazza and Archewell Productions. Because as far as I'm concerned, they tried to position themselves in Hollywood as being these kind of top bigwig producing people in Hollywood, right? Look at us. We've got the film rights for Meet Me at the Lake. We can really show off what Archewell Productions can do. Yeah, bullshit. Shit, they're not showing off anything. They've not done anything. It shows that the whole production arm, as far as I'm concerned, is an absolute joke. And you can't take it seriously at all. After 2 years, when it was initially announced that Netflix bought the rights, that Azza and Megzy could produce it, nothing's happened. It just shows, as far as I'm concerned, not only to us, but to Hollywood, the pair of grifters they really are, as far as we're concerned. They've done nothing. They've not produced anything for the Meet Me at the Lake film project at all. Through Archewell Productions, they produced Polo. Well, that was a flop. They produced With Love Meghan. That was a freaking flop. They produced Heart of Victors. That was a flop. Everything that Archewell Productions has released via Netflix has been flop after flop after flop. And now, to add more on top of that, they have a project that didn't even come to fruition in the first place anyway. And so they've just shown to Hollywood how much of a loser they really, really are. And that they're not really to be taken seriously at all. Now, for those watching live, whether you're watching on YouTube or on X, stay exactly where you are, because speaking of Hollywood, Meghan Markle, she might be in hiding now because Hollywood has actually reacted to the Netflix acts, and Megsy's not going to like this one. So for those watching live, whether you're on YouTube or watching on X, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. But if you haven't done so already, please make sure you are subscribed to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. What do you think is now going to happen to the Meet Me at the Lake project? Personally, I think it's just going to go away. We're not going to see anything of it. It's just going to disappear, done and dusted. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And let's see what you guys are saying in the YouTube live chat before we jump into the second story for today's live stream. So let's have a look right here. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. Rightio. So Patty Neoff says, as for Meet Me at the Lake, I can only imagine that the author is relieved. She can now possibly interest a real producer in it. Well, this is the thing. And when this was all announced initially 2 years ago, the main kind of criticism was, oh, hang on a minute. Megzy and Hazza have no experience whatsoever in actually producing a movie. They've never produced a movie before. Nothing like this. It would make sense to hand over the film rights to produce to a more experienced production firm rather than Hazza and Megzy. What the frick is going on? Well, what the frick is going on indeed? It looks like it's dead in the water at this point, guys. Stephen Magnus, the Big SM is in the chat. Hey up, Big SM, how's it going? Thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership for the last 21 months. Saying the Meet Me at the Lake author sold a second story to another studio. Yeah, as we just discussed when there we go. Right there, yep. Netflix can hold on till the divorce and then make the film and cash in on the drama. This is a thing, right, okay, with the whole, well, Netflix could hang on and cash in on the divorce and the drama and all that lot when that all happens, inevitably, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, which is this. For the quote-unquote divorce story, Netflix doesn't really need to hold on to that in a way. Why? Because, how do I put this? I'm just going to say what's in my head. Whether it makes sense or not, I don't know. But it makes sense in my head, so hopefully it makes sense to you guys as well. Here we go. Hazza and Megzy would be in a better position if they're not actually tied to Netflix when they divorce. Because then that opens them up to essentially a bidding war. Because, let's be real here, right? Netflix will want the divorce story, but so too would Amazon and Disney and any other major streaming service or mainstream TV. Think about it. So instead of being locked in to Netflix, so that when they divorce, they've got no other option but to take that story to Netflix. Instead, actually, them not being tied to Netflix anymore gives them more ample opportunity to make more money by taking advantage of the more than likely bidding war that would follow. You see where I'm coming from there, guys? What do you guys think to that? Anyway, let's see what else you guys are saying before we jump into the second story for today's live stream. Let's see. Yeah. Trisha O'Donnell says, I agree. No talent or creativity, in my humble opinion. I agree. And Beverly Bailey says, South Park has got it right. They're a joke. Yes. Got it right indeed. With that being said, let's jump into the second story for today's live stream because, yeah, is Meghan Markle in hiding as Hollywood reacts to a Netflix axe? Let's jump into this right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the raw news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught my eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because is Meghan Markle taking cover and in hiding as Hollywood reacts to Netflix axing her and Prince Hazza? Sure seems that way, because the last time, by my knowledge, Megzy posted anything on her Meghan Instagram was 2 weeks ago, and it was this. Happy Independence Day, guys! Yep. And the last time anything was posted on as ever, to my knowledge, was a week ago. And it was this. Beige, bland, boring. Pretty much on brand there, right? And so I ask, what's with all the silence all of a sudden? Because Megzy was pretty much posting on her Instagram, whether it was Meghan Instagram or as ever Instagram, pretty much on a daily basis or every couple of days. To the point where it was pretty nauseous. So, what's with the silence all of a sudden? Is Meghan now in hiding because of Hollywood's reaction to Netflix dropping her and Hazza? Because here, you guys, you have a Hollywood insider that has told the Mail that people are now bored with Hazza and Megzy. And so here's the article from The Express. Prince Harry and Meghan humiliated in Hollywood as no one rates them. The source in particular says, quote, no one in Hollywood rates them anymore or wants to be around them, especially her. People are bored with them. And yeah, audiences are starting to get bored of Hazza and Megzy. And they're waking up to their grift. Here, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle get biggest proof yet that we are bored of the Sussexes. And so the article goes on to say we are where we are, and the realisation is no doubt setting in, even in Hazza and Megzy's candy floss brains, that beyond the fact they were once royal, they have nothing to offer. It's unkind, I know, but they are just too thick. Trust me, you have nothing to learn from either of them unless mixed fruit jam making is your thing, of course. And let's be real here, she can't even call it jam. She can't call it preserve. She has to call it spread because she doesn't have the correct ratio of ingredients to be able to even call it jam or preserve. So jam really isn't her jam after all. Absolutely freaking hilarious, that, right? Anywho, I digress. Let's get back to this article. So it then says, outside the fact that they were royals, they are just uninteresting people. I think Netflix and Spotify got this and seized on their short-term notoriety. One industry insider nailed it, saying Netflix were clever in that they got a hell of a lot of viewers for the first documentary series and knew realistically it would prove the zenith of content for the Montecito's pair. Yeah. And this is the thing, audiences are even going tired of Harry and Meghan's self-promotion. As you can see with this article right here, again from the Express, audience is growing weary of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's self-promotion. Now, you have this royal expert, Lydia Alty, and she says that the broader issue is that nearly everything they produce continues to centre around themselves, their stories, their grievances, their brand. Audiences are growing weary of it. She then says viewers are seeking content that inspires, educates, or serves a greater purpose, not just a polished exercise in personal branding, and that public interest in the Harry and Meghan show is clearly waning, and that people are increasingly looking for substance over self-promotion. So, from all of this, right, Hollywood is going to know that people are bored with the gruesome twosome. They're not interested in them. They're not even buying into Harry and Meghan's narrative. So as a result, it's come to the point, you guys, that even big PR execs are now advising their clients not to work with Harry and Meghan in any way, shape or form. Here is the reality. Here is the Hollywood reaction that Harry and Meghan are getting in the wake of them being dropped by Netflix. The headline here, I'm a PR expert and there's no way in hell I'd tell people to work with Harry and Meghan. So you have Renee Smith, founder of The Atticism, telling the Express, quote, I wouldn't advise a single client of mine to get involved with them. No way in hell. Could they produce something on their own? Sure, they have the money. But will any major platform touch them now? I highly doubt it. Then going on to say, they're starting to feel like damaged goods. It's the opposite of the Midas touch. Everything they touch right now turns to dust. I wouldn't advise a single client of mine to get involved with them. No way in hell. Yeah. And this is the thing. This PR exec has also issued a damning 5-word verdict on Harry and Meghan's future after their Netflix acts. And this is what they had to say. It's the end of the road. Yep. The end of what road? They're done. That's it. And Hollywood knows that they're done. So you now have PR execs in Hollywood advising their clients, don't touch Harry and Meghan in any way, shape or form. Do not touch them with a barge pole. They're done. Yep. They're done indeed. And this is the thing, right? Because they're done in Hollywood, is Meghan about to now flee Montecito and move to Florida? Well, guys, for those watching live, whether you're watching on YouTube or on X, exactly where you are, because that is what's coming up for the third story for today's live stream. Is Meghan Markle about to flee Montecito since Netflix has dropped her and move to Florida? Yeah, we're going to get into that for the third topic for today's live stream. By all means, though, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, Make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. How do you think Megxie is taking the reaction from Hollywood since Netflix has axed her? I can hear some plates breaking right now. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. But for those watching on the replay, thank you so, so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, and that was the second story for today's live stream. We're going to get into the third one in a moment. Let's see what you guys are saying in the YouTube chat, though. Trish O'Donnell says they're not producers or directors. They're basically nothing at this point. Netflix is like, you're done. Bye-bye. Yep. Christine says, I'm surprised they didn't do a reality TV show. There's still time. There's still time. Let's put it this way. Megxie is trying to get in with the Kardashians. And what are they most known for? Yep. D. Williams, my goodness, thank you so much for that very, very kind $2 sugar bucks, ruining a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. Appreciate your face. Thank you so, so much. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Michelle Retief says, hi, Steph and everyone. Hey up, Michelle. How's it going? Thank you so, so much for tuning in there. Appreciate your face there. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Susan Hamery says, Montecito puts out a list of the 200 most influential women in Montecito, and Megxie was not mentioned. What? Really? Oh, I got to make a note of that. One moment, guys. Really? Whoa. Why is that? There we go. Let me just make a note so I can hang on. Why isn't that allowing me to make a note? Make a note up here. Sorry guys. A little bit of a technical snafu, but we're Gucci now. So Montecito puts out a list of the 200 most influential women in Montecito, and MM was not mentioned. Whoa. Well, that makes a lot of sense when we take into account the third story that we're going to get into in a moment, to be fair. So stay tuned for that, Susan. That third story, I think you're going to be heavily interested in that one. Big SM, thank you so much for the £2 sugar bucks, my friend, saying, as ever, gets a trademark and sells millions in her dream. Yeah, in her dreams. In her dreams, indeed. Let's see. Project Mail Music says, Steph, has these two been anything at all? Not really. Not really, to be fair. Catherine B's like, oh, please, no. Don't let them move to Florida. We've suffered enough hurricanes. True. However, you may have a hurricane of epic royal disaster coming your way. And actually, to be fair, that is, hang on a minute. I just seen this. My GWT, Steph, here's the URL for that list. You might not be able to send the URL in the live chat. If you email me, stefthealternerd@gmail.com, the email is in every single description bar in all my videos and live streams. Send me the link. I would be very, very grateful if you can send me the link via email. But let me just get back to what Catherine B says, because she says, please, no, don't let them move to Florida. We've suffered enough hurricanes. Well, as I was about to say, great segue into the third topic for today's live stream. And my goodness, just to give you a little, guys, a little bit of an update, we're already halfway to achieving the super chat goal so you guys can unlock the bonus Hazza and Megsy story for today's live stream. A little bit of a hint, it's Prince Hazza's reaction to the Netflix acts. So if you guys want to hear that story, only if you can, please contribute to today's super chat goal. We're already halfway through, so thank you so much to everyone that's been able to do that. We just need another 5 and we'll have unlocked it. So yeah, let's get into the third story for today's live stream right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose The Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because reports are coming through that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry may leave Montecito and move to Florida. But why? Well, they're saying it's all to do with the Beckhams, but could it also be because Netflix has dropped her? And Montecito has not accepted her, sees her as a failure, and so she's going to move to the other side of the country. Well, let's put it this way, guys. We know her life has now failed in Hollywood. As reports are coming through confirming what we all knew was going to happen anyway. I've been saying it for well over a year. A lot of us have in the Megxit community. Netflix is dumping her and Hazza. They're not renewing the contract in any way, shape or form. It is done. And here we now have Radar Online reporting, and they're saying it's their exclusive, that is Meghan Markle going to be the next Queen of Palm Beach? That apparently Prince Harry and Megsy are considering buying a home in Florida, and it's all because of the Beckhams. And so let's go into this story, find out how the Beckhams enter this narrative, and then shortly after, I'm then going to explain to you the Montecito of it all. Okay, guys? So here we go. The article says here that apparently Brooklyn and Nicola have become big fans of Hazza and Megsy. The source saying they can't stop singing their praises and that these four are as thick as thieves and have been talking about all sorts of collaborations. And that Hazza and Megsy are now seriously thinking about getting a place in Florida. Then going down to say, as I scroll down here, there we go. She no doubt would love the idea of establishing herself as the Queen of Palm Beach, says the source. In other words, Megsy apparently loves the idea of trying to establish herself as the Queen of Palm Beach. The source goes on to say there are tons of networking opportunities. That the fact that Nicola and her family have a massive compound on the beach is just an icing on the cake. However, two people that won't be too happy that Hazza and Megsy may be looking at moving close to Brooklyn and Nicola is, of course, David and Victoria Beckham. And so here you got to think, well, hang on a minute. Is it solely because of Nicola Peltz and Brooklyn Beckham as to why she wants to move over to Florida? Could there be another reason? Because reports are coming through that her life has completely failed in Montecito as she's been unable to win the elite over there. Here, the Daily Mail article from back in April. Montecito mean girls are whispering to me about Walmart me Meghan as a podcast flops, and that's not even their cruelest cut. So the word from Montecito insiders is that Meghan's mean girl friends are relentlessly gossiping behind her back, roasting her as pumpkin spice and Walmart for allegedly selling out in a series of cheap stunts that do little to establish her as a forward-looking influencer. To their point, a show about founders is clumsy Gen Z speak for anyone who coined a hashtag. It's so 5 minutes ago, as the kids say. The article then says these nattering West Coasters are also chiding Meghan for copying everyone else who's been there, done that, with one of them going so far as to say, quote, she had this incredible opportunity to be the first black woman to marry into the royal family and make her mark as a chic, charming revolutionary. She's so obsessed with bees. Why couldn't she stay in the family and make honey with King Charles's bees? He loves that stuff. Ouch, indeed. And as I've reported over the years, it doesn't stop there. There have been rumblings from the Montecito neighbours over the years that they're just really unhappy with Hazza and Megzi being in their community because, according to the reports, the neighbours are really unhappy that Hazza and Megzi really don't do anything in their community at all. They don't support the community, they don't mesh with the community, they don't socialise with the community, nothing. And the Montecito community is like, well, hang on a minute. Who the hell do you guys think you are, really, in the grand scheme of things? A lot of them in Montecito, right, are not well known, not famous, but are much more powerful, have bigger houses and more money than Hazza and Megzi. And reportedly, even they're turning around and saying, what the frick are they doing here? They can't remember one source, one neighbour turning around and saying, what the hell is Hazza and Megzi doing here? It's essentially where elephants come to die. Well, it's where, as far as I'm concerned at this point, washed up royals that are traitors gotta die. As far as I'm concerned, right? But this is a thing. Overall, going around full circle here, is Meghan Markle fleeing Montecito and moving to Florida because she wants to be close to Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz? Or is she fleeing Montecito and moving to Florida because of the sheer embarrassment of now being dropped by Netflix after being axed by Spotify a couple of years back and being rejected by not only Hollywood, because as I've reported earlier on, PR execs are turning around and saying and warning their clients off from working with Hazza and Megzi. That's it now. Hazza and Megzi have been blacklisted, it looks like. So, is she fleeing Montecito, moving to Florida, after being not only rejected by Hollywood, but also by the Montecito A-list crowd and residents? Or could it be a mixture of both, right? That she's fleeing Montecito, moving to Florida because she wants to be close to Brooklyn and Nicola Peltz, and she's fleeing Montecito to move to Florida because of the sheer embarrassment of being dropped by Netflix, axed by Spotify, being rejected by not only Hollywood, but also by the Montecito A-list crowd and residents as well. I would say it's all a mixture, really, in the grand scheme of things. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the next year, all of a sudden, we hear this announcement that they've bought a house in Florida. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, a lot of you guys, I'm seeing you in the live chat, you're saying, well, hang on a minute. Don't Samantha Markle live in Florida? Yes, she does. However, Florida's, for me anyway, is a big state. I know it's not like the biggest state in America, but Florida is like massive, right? Yeah. And so it's a big enough state. And I'm sure Megzi will choose a place that's pretty far away from Samantha Markle. I don't think that would stop her moving to Florida, do you? But with that being said, those watching live, whether you're watching on YouTube or on X, stay exactly where you are because I'm not done with you guys yet. But if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Why do you think Megzi would want to move to Florida and completely ditch Montecito? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. But for those watching on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, and that was the third story for today's live stream. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. We've got about 9 minutes left for you guys to get a chance to unlock the bonus Hazard and Megsy story for today's live stream. Thank you so much to everyone that's been able to contribute so far to the goal. I really, really appreciate your face. I can see here, yes, 6 of you have been able to contribute towards the Super Chat goal, which means we only need 4 more left to be able to unlock the bonus Hazard and Megsy story. And you guys have got about 9 minutes to do so. So only if you can, of course, the Super Chat goal is there and waiting to be achieved. So we can go into the bonus Hazard and Megsy story. With that being said, in the meantime, let's see what you guys are saying. Let's have a bit of a chat. MPNG Creed Many says, I was going to do another diss track on them, but I don't have the energy. They are soul-suffocating demons with their egos. Yeah, you ain't getting any arguments from me there. There you go. Susan says, if they're planning to move to Palm Beach, they will be iced out, in my opinion. Yeah. This is the thing. Something that I learned from my mate, H.G. Tudor, who has been very, very generous with his time behind the scenes, talking to me and teaching me more about narcissists and narcissistic behaviour. And it's this, that narcissists do not have a grip on reality. They create their own reality and they believe in it so much that they'll die on that hill. So Megsy will not see the reality of things. She'll just see that she's the best thing ever, and how could anyone think otherwise? And that it's not her fault that she didn't make it big in Montecito and Hollywood. No, it's Montecito and Hollywood's fault. They just didn't understand her. They just didn't get her. They just didn't take the time to get to know her and to accept her, this, that, and the other. Do you know what? In the future, I wouldn't be surprised if Megsy turned around and says, Hollywood's racist. They never accepted me. They never gave me a chance to be successful. Blah, 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 blah. Won't be surprised. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I'm sure they'll be iced out. She just won't realise that's going to happen until it's too late. And then she is pretty much iced out at that point. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Trisha O'Donnell, in my opinion, her entire life is a failure. Pivoting from mistakes to F-ups. Yeah. I mean, you say her entire life is a failure, but it hasn't. Let's be real on this, right? She had bit parts in Hollywood, got her biggest break in Suits, all right? She had that whole commercial thing with Reitman's. And then, as far as I'm concerned, she engineered it, but she met Hazard and married him, and married into the royal family. At a time where, if you're to believe the rumours, she was about to go broke. And people are calling her the greatest con woman ever. That she was about to go broke, and she landed a prince. Whether you believe that or not, it's entirely up to you, but that's the rumour on the street there. So, the majority of her life has pretty much been a disaster. Pivoting from mistake to F-ups. But no, there have been elements, even I'm going to admit that, where her life hasn't been a failure. It's gone in her favour to a certain extent. Do you see where I'm coming from there, guys? Let's see what else you guys are saying. DX KitKat says they'll last about a minute in Palm Beach. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure Donald Trump had set one of the gators on him. All I'll say, Hazard and Megsy, is water's your friend, ponds are your friend, puddles are your friend. Go swim in a pond in Florida. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Of course I'm joking. Of course it's a joke. Literally, like, the before I went to Florida for the first time, I actually asked, I think it was Andy I asked. I was like, Andy, like, what's your best advice going to Florida? And he was like, stay away from water. Even the smallest puddle. Just don't freaking go in it. Just stay away from water outside. Unless it's a bath inside. And even then, you know, make sure there's no gator in it. I'm like, oh, okay. Wow. Interesting. Anywho, let's see what else you guys are saying. And wow. You guys are going nuts at the moment with the super chat goal. We are just one more super chat away to unlock the bonus Harry and Meghan story. And you've got about just under 4 minutes to do so. So thank you so much to everyone that's been able to contribute towards the super chat goal. I know not everyone can, and that's absolutely fine. Even if you can't, not a problem. Just watching, liking, subscribing. Absolutely Gucci. Best believe. Anywho, let's see what else you guys are saying before we move on. Shaz, thank you so much for the £5 sugar bucks saying, oh, she's moving to Florida to be near Samantha to stop Sam from suing. Yeah, I got a funny feeling that's not going to work. Yeah, that's not going to work. It's really, really not going to work at all. Lady Tammy, thank you so much for the $2 sugar bucks. Very, very kind of you today. Appreciate it. Tammy Joe Hosfield, thank you so much for $1.99 sugar buck sticker. Appreciate your face. Thank you so much. Being like, no. I'll do it for me. Diana Dodson, thank you so much for that very generous $10 sugar bucks. Very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. With the hippo careering into the screen. Yeah, that was like my sound bite of like a car careening in with like the brakes and stuff. I probably just sounded like a demented zebra there, but hey. Let's just roll with it, right, guys? Lady Tammy, wow. Whoa, Lady Tammy went in. Wow, on the super chat goal. Not once, not twice, but freaking 3 times. My goodness, snaps to Lady Tammy right now for showing up for the super chat goal. Thank you so much for the $2 each time. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you. Wendy Marino, I love this. The Gators don't want them either. Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to agree. The Gators probably don't want him either. King Bob, thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership for the past 36 months. My goodness, thank you so much. Saying yesterday was my 59th birthday. Boy, I'm old. Well, I'm loving all the happy belated birthdays and whatnot that's showing up in the chat right now. And without further ado... Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear King Bob. Happy birthday to you. May there be more. King Bob, happy birthday for yesterday. Hope you had a wonderful day. Appreciate your face, mate. Thank you so much. Speaking of King Bob, we got King Bob's Queen in the chat. Hey up, KB Queen. How's it going, lass? Thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership for the last 20 months. Do that, thank you. Saying she's a hurricane of drama. Perfect for Florida. Yeah. That's pretty much one way of putting it. But with that being said, big major thank you to absolutely everyone that's been able to contribute to today's Super Chat Go. We have successfully achieved it, and you guys have been able to unlock the bonus Harry and Meghan story. So let's jump into it, shall we? Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because as news circulates that Netflix has cancelled Meghan and Harry's $100 million contract, they're not renewing it. It's done. It's dead in the water. This has now shed further light as to the real reason for those peace talks with King Charles. And Harry's reaction? Oh, apparently he's pissed. Harry's reaction to the Netflix acts is that he's angry. But why would it be angry? Well, a lot was riding on their Netflix deal being extended, as far as I'm concerned, to help with their reported dwindling finances. But as the Sun reports here, here's the headline: Meghan and Harry's Netflix deal disaster is killing their US dream. How will they fund their incredibly lavish life now? Well, in the article, the reporter writes, it raises the question of whether it will be earnings now, since Netflix axed them, that are increasingly relied upon to fund the family's expensive Hollywood lifestyle, and if so, will it be enough? And make no mistake about it, they do have an expensive Hollywood lifestyle, right? I remember there was that show that I reported on actually a couple of years ago. It was aired in France. It was called Harry and Meghan, A Royal Business. And they had some experts on, and they were saying, look, maintenance costs for Montecito Royal alone is $2 million. Then you've got, their security, which is another $1 to $2 million. Then you've got the mortgage payments on top, which is reportedly anywhere between $350,000 to $500,000 a year, right? Then on top of that, you got Meg's clothes and her yoga, Pilates, and whatever else you want to call it. Then you've got Meg's and Hazard's kids and their private schooling, blah, 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 right? Do you know, I won't be surprised if they're spending a minimum $10 million a year on all of that, right? On all of that. So, yeah, they do have an expensive Hollywood lifestyle. And without Netflix now on board, how are they going to fund this? So the article continues with PR expert Nick Eade believing that in the future, Megsy will provide the surest revenue stream, saying, quote, Meghan is the best way of making money for the two of them. She is the breadwinner. However, of course, as we all know, marketing experts Camille Moore and Philip Miller, in now that viral YouTube video, is accusing Megsy's Leather brand of not being intelligent and not well executed, with Philip Miller accusing Megsy of trying to rinse the maximum value from her fame that came from Suits and being part of the royal family, adding, quote, her brand wasn't one built on substance, it was based on using people. Meanwhile, Hazard has two paying jobs. You've got Travelist and you've got Better Up. Now, with Travelist, we're not too sure how much is being paid there, right? But with Better Up, a couple of years ago, Better Up had to lay off a few staff. And some of those staff allegedly spoke out to the media anonymously. And they were turning around and pretty much saying the same thing about Hazard. What the hell does he do in that company? They said that he gets paid a seven-figure sum for being in Better Up, but they have no idea what he does on a day-to-day. As far as they're concerned, he does naff all. And they were like, why are you laying us off? Lay off Hazard and save our jobs instead. But it was the other way around. So we know, at least allegedly, right, that Hazard gets a seven-figure sum from Better Up. But if Better Up is laying off a shiz ton of people over the last few years, as far as I'm concerned, I think it would be reasonable to accept that even though it's still a lot of money, let's be real here, right, I'd live off of it for the rest of my life. He's probably earning into the lower millions rather than the higher. So maybe like 1 to 2 million rather than 8 to 9 million, if that makes sense. And so it must be an absolute fall from grace for Hazard to be one moment being in the royal family and not having to worry about finances at all, to now being dropped by their main financial security blanket, which was Netflix, and now having to rely on Megsy to be the breadwinner. That's got to make him pissed off. Especially when reportedly, right, they've already blown through his inheritance from Princess Diana. And reportedly, his trust fund from the Queen's mother, which was around about 8 million apparently, that's pretty much nearly gone as well, if you're to believe the reports. So he's now having to rely more and more on Megsy to be the breadwinner instead to bring in the millions. Which means if he's having to rely on Megsy more, she's got more control over the marriage, over the finances. And this is all a domino effect that started at Netflix completely axing them all together. So you can understand, after all that, Hazard's got to be angry. Got to be pissed off as far as I'm concerned. And he must have been even more pissed off to have to allegedly turned to his royal family as a result to ask for a financial handout to help with his mounting legal bills. Because here you've got, according to Taz, make sure you're following her on X. If you watch her on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to a YouTube channel. Saying, well, I think it's pretty obvious why Harry is now in discussions to play nice. It comes down to what it always has been about, money. I saw the blind gossip that the king just paid Harry's legal bill. It's believable. Throw money at a problem and hope it goes away. And I believe this is the blind item she's talking about right here. So this is from Crazy Days and Nights. Of course, guys, with it being a blind item, treat it like a pinch of salt. Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Do your own research, come to your own conclusions, all that malarkey, right? In this blind item, I'm assuming they're talking about Hazard and King Charles and that alleged peace talks, meeting, whatever the frick you want to call it, right? But here is what the blind item is saying. This was released 5 days ago. Apparently, the ginger-haired one talked Dad into giving him the money because the lawyer bill has been paid. So, a lot of people are saying that when Hazard's reps met up with the King's reps, he must have known at that point that Netflix was going to drop him and Megxie. And so, knowing that, his intention to meet with the King's rep wasn't to reconcile, but instead, it was to ask for more money to help him, because he was beforehand banking on his Netflix deal being renewed. And so think about it. Imagine Hazard's reaction when he's told that Netflix isn't going to renew their contract. He must have been pissed off. Even more so as it's allegedly forced him into a situation where he had to sit down with a King's rep, cap in hand, and allegedly ask for money to help him with his legal bills. Netflix axing Hazard and Megxie has put Hazard in a corner that I don't think he wants to be in at all. He has to rely on Megxie more, which means that Megxie's got more control over the marriage and over him. He's also got to rely on Megxie more when it comes to the money situation, because PR experts are saying, look, Megxie's the only chance now of them getting any big bucks coming in on a regular basis. And he must have been even more pissed off as a result to have to turn around, go back to his royal family and allegedly ask for more money to help him because he was banking on his Netflix deal being renewed, but that's not happening now. Yeah, I can imagine Hazard being pissed off. I can imagine his reaction being absolute anger at the news that Netflix is axing them. But enough about what I think. What do you guys think? With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and of course there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. What do you think Hazard's reaction was to the news that Netflix has axed him and Megxie? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, those watching live, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. But for those watching on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters. All right, and that was your bonus Hazard and Megxie story for today's live stream. Again, a big massive thank you to everyone that's been able to contribute to today's super chat goal. Thank you so much. Let's see what you guys are saying in the YouTube live chat before we end today's live stream. Let's have a gander here. Shaz says, he made his bed and put himself where he is today. What did he think would happen when he bashed and bullied his grandmother and grandfather for starters? I know, right? He made his bed. He can freaking lie in it. Big SM in the chat, gifting one leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey, up to our newest leader, courtesy of the big SM himself, Stephen Magnus. Appreciate your face, mate. Thank you so much. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Oh, Taz. Thank you so much for the $2 sugar bucks. And my favourite, the Ginger Doggy Fine Arts moment. I love it, love it, love it. For those that don't know, this is a ginger doggy and the heart's coming from the tail. And when you lift the tail from a doggy, what's directly underneath? The butthole. Therefore, this is a Ginger Doggy Fighting Arts moment. You'll never be able to ever unsee it ever again. You're welcome. Yes, Taz. Thank you so much. Appreciate your face. Oh, my goodness. Carol, thank you. Steph is accurate in her numbers. I try to be. I really, really do try to be. Carol says, costs are outpacing their revenue. As I've said all along, Megsy, as far as I'm concerned, is spending like a billionaire when she's actually a millionaire. Yep. Shaz, I agree with you on this. Whatever money Harry has brought to the marriage is all gone. But I still think Harry's bringing more in than Meghan is. That's going to change. That's going to change. Once Megsy starts bringing in more money than has her, that's it. That's it. She is going to press that divorce button. And she'll do it pretty quick. Jacqueline Hooper says, are Netflix not on first refusal? No, not at the moment. And I don't imagine that there will be an agreement whereby Netflix gets first refusal. It doesn't make sense for Hazard and Megsy to do that. Because again, as I mentioned earlier on, when they do divorce, and I think it's only a matter of time, it makes more sense that they're not tied to any one streamer. And instead, there'll be that obvious bidding war that'll happen. And they'll make more money from that. Rather than being tied to one streamer and them getting first refusal. So, yeah, it makes more sense that they don't get tied. And when the divorce does happen, in my opinion, they're going to make more money from that bidding war because every single streamer and every single channel, mainstream channel, is going to try and outbid each other. It's going to be absolutely cutthroat. Mark my words. Yeah, they're going to make a lot of coin when that happens. See. Janie D. I'm sure Hazard and Megsy aren't used to the word no. Nope, they're not. On that bombshell, guys, I'm actually going to leave it there. Big major thank you to everyone that's tuned in live, whether you're watching on YouTube or X. I appreciate your faces. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube to Stef The Alter Nerd for more Misadventures of the Gruesome Twosome. And if you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd for more of this content. Thank you so much to everyone that's kept me company in the live chat, that's liked this live stream, that's subscribed, that's been kind enough and generous enough to be able to send super chat stickers, or even gifting leaderships. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much as well for the leader only chats. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. With that being said, let me just remind you guys, this Sunday, let's pay it forward. My good friend Michelle at Royal Daily Tea is going to have an interview live with HG Tudor in the hot seat. Sounds exciting to me, doesn't it to you guys? Well, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm just going to put the link to this live stream. It's going to happen this Sunday, 6 o'clock UK time, 1 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to spam the chat because I can. And there we go. Spam away! It's like bombs away. Spam away! There we go. I've spammed it enough. Have fun with that link. Make sure if you haven't done so already, subscribe to Royal Daily Tea because she definitely deserves more subscribers. She's putting out some fire content at the moment. But yeah, guys, enjoy your weekend wherever you are in the world. You'll next see me this Sunday, 10 o'clock UK time, 5 o'clock Eastern, to the Daily Nerd Live Sunday edition. And yeah, I already have the stories in place for that one, and it's gonna be so much fun. You do not want to miss it. Again, thank you so much for all your support. I appreciate all your faces. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on Sunday. Laters, guys.